Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're in AP statistics and the normal distribution has you confused, this is the video for you. By the end of this lesson, you're going to fully understand what the bell curve is, how to use it, and exactly how it shows up on the AP exam. Let's get into it. Alright, so what even is the normal distribution? Here's your simple version. It's a way of describing how data is spread out when most values cluster around the middle. Think about heights of students in your school. Most people are somewhere in the middle, like 5'4" to 5'9", while very few people are 4 feet tall or 7 feet tall. When you graph that data, you got this beautiful symmetric bell-shaped curve. That's the normal distribution. Now here's a key idea. The normal distribution is described by two numbers, the mean, which is the center, and the standard deviation, which controls how wide or narrow the bell is. Now, this is really important. The mean is equivalent to the center, while the standard deviation is equal to the spread. Please write that down. All right, now let's look at the shape. The normal distribution is perfectly symmetric. The left side is a mirror image of the right side. The highest point is right to the middle. That's the mean. From there, it falls off on both sides and gets closer and closer to zero, but technically never touches the x-axis. This is important for the exam. The curve is symmetric around the mean. That means 50% of the data is below the mean and 50% is above. Always. Now pause here and ask yourself, if the mean is 70 and the distribution is normal, what percent of data is below 70? All right, I'll give you a second to solve that question. If you got 50, great job. Now, here's the rule you need to know. The 68, 95, 99.7 rule. Some people call it the empirical rule. Now, here's what it says. 68% of the data falls within one standard deviation of the mean. 95% of this data falls within two standard deviations of the mean. 99.7% of data falls within three standard deviations of the mean. Let me say that again because this is on every AP exam. One standard deviation from the mean, 68%. Two standard deviations from the mean, 95%. Three standard deviations from the mean, 99.7%. Now, here's how to picture it. Imagine test scores are normally distributed with a mean of 75 and a standard deviation of 5. That means between 70 and 80, that's one standard deviation away. 5 above, 5 below. That means 68% of scores land there. Now, between 65 and 85, that's two standard deviations away. 10 and 10. 95% of scores land there. Between 60 and 90, that's three standard deviations away. That means 99.7% of scores land there. Easy, right? Let's use this in an example. All right, let's work on worked example number 1. The height of adult males are normally distributed with a mean of 70 inches and a standard deviation of 3 inches. Now here's the question. What percent of adult males are between 67 and 73 inches tall? I'll give you a second to solve the question. Step 1. Figure out how many standard deviations away those values are. Step 67 is 70 minus 3. That's exactly one standard deviation below the mean. 73 is 70 plus 3. That's exactly one standard deviation above the mean. Step 2. Apply the rule. Within one standard deviation is 68. That means the answer is 68% of adult males are between 67 and 73 inches tall. Now, on the AP exam, they might give you the same setup, but ask for values 2 standard deviations away. That's 95%, or 3 standard deviations away. That's 99.7%. Always check how many standard deviations you're working with first before solving. Let's move on to a trickier question. Same setup, but heights are normally distributed with a mean of 70 and a standard deviation of 3. Now here's the question. What percent of adult males are above 76 inches? I'll give you a second to solve it. All right. Step 1. How far is 76 from the mean? 76 minus 70 is 6. That's 2 standard deviations above the mean. Step 2. Within 2 standard deviations, we have 95%. That means 5% is outside of 2 standard deviations total, split equally between the two tails. Step 3. Since we only want the right tail above 76, we take half of that 5%. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. That means 2.5% of adult males are above 76 inches tall for this normal distribution. Now, please listen to this. When they ask for just one tail, split that outside percentage in half. This comes up constantly on the AP exam. Okay, your turn. Pause the video and try solving this question. A set of exam scores is normally distributed with a mean of 80 and a standard deviation of 4. What percent of scores fall between 72 and 88? 72 is 80 minus 8. That's 2 standard deviations below the mean. 88 is 80 plus 8. That's 2 standard deviations above the mean. Within 2 standard deviations, 68, 95, 95%. That means the answer is 95% of scores fall between 72 and 88. If you got that, nice work. Now, let's wrap up. Here's what you need to remember from today. Number 1. The normal distribution is symmetric and bell-shaped. The mean is always the center. Number 2, 68% is within 1 standard deviation. 95% of the data is within 2 standard deviations. 99.7% of the data is within 3 standard deviations. That's the empirical rule. It will always be on your AP exam, so please remember it. Step 3. When a question asks about one tail only, take the leftover percentage and cut it in half. 4. Mean controls the standard deviation, and standard deviation controls how far. Mean controls the center, and standard deviation controls how far the data is spread out. That's it. Now you know the normal distribution. If this helps you, please hit subscribe. I post a new math lesson every single day. Drop a comment, tell me what topic you want next. I'll see you tomorrow. And if you want homework, in the description, I'll link some homework, some quiz, and more if you want any. Thank you.